Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what we've got today. We've got the Entrepreneur, which we've done already, so we're rerolling that, and Vagabond as well. Artificer also. Let me try a couple more times here, and we've got the Chef. Okay, so Chef is an extremely challenging character for random weapon challenges because double enemy health is super dangerous, and unless we have good ways to do damage, to set enemies on fire, and do non-elemental damage, then we can get in a lot of trouble. Let's roll, and we've got the Chopper. I think that might be what we did last time. Let me take a look. And it's not, so let's jump in with the Chopper. This is okay, I think. It's not the best item for this character, because of course that's Spoon, but it's a decent weapon that gives us a lot of healing, so we can focus on building up our damage and finding ways to light enemies on fire for the Chef passive, as well as our luck for the additional consumable drop. Here, I could take 5 luck. I could also roll for harvesting. I think I will roll for harvesting. So I'll do 2 rerolls here, and we'll pick up some harvesting. And then we're going to go ahead and lock a tree. Tree is amazing because the consumable burning explosion is so good for the Chef. It's going to allow us to set enemies on fire much, much more easily. Let's reroll here and take the Chopper and roll again, get another one. Actually, I should have considered the alien worm there. Because we have Chopper, we're going to have tons of consumable healing, so that might have been a decent pick. We will take another one. Ugly Tooth is also worth considering for this character. Slowing enemies means that we have more time to hit them, so that we can set them on fire for the Scared Sausage, so that we get the double damage to enemies, or rather triple damage to enemies. But I think that it's just too expensive to buy this early for an item that doesn't actually increase our damage output or health or economy or anything. So we're going to pass on it, but it is worth noting that that has a unique synergy for this character. So right now we're not having too much trouble because, of course, the enemy health isn't that big a deal yet. Killing trees can be really challenging for this character as well. I shouldn't actually have run for that one. It cost me like 1 or 2 enemy kills because you can't guarantee that they'll be set on fire, and they do get the benefit of the extra health. Once we get an extra Scared Sausage or another way to set enemies on fire, then it's much easier for us to kill trees reliably, but for now it can be a little more difficult. We'll definitely take a fertilizer, and we'll reroll here and reroll again. Normally, on the Chef, of course, we'd be very happy to pick that torch up, because usually you just want a reliable burning weapon for the Chef. Anything that sets enemies on fire is really nice for you, of course. But since we can't do that, we don't have that option. Got 1 random consumable drop there. And another one, and every time we get one of those, we're going to be able to kill enemies really fast. Is there a chance we kill this? Yes. So you actually kill burning enemies faster than a normal character kills enemies. So since we got the burning effect on our first attack against that loot alien, we were able to kill it, which is great. We don't need to buy elemental damage for this character because we buy it at a reduced rate, and we just want the burning effect. We don't care about the burning damage, but we will take 3 regen. It's excellent to get us a little more healing. We'll take some harvesting there as well. We'll take a Chopper for sure. I'll buy tree and fertilizer. I'll take a lemonade. It's a little less impactful on this character, but we have a ton of luck already, so the consumable healing is still great. Definitely want alien tongue. Pickup radius, really good for the Chef because it's going to let us set enemies on fire more easily. And for 3, I'll throw in a reroll here. Again, I don't care about losing elemental damage, so more luck from the Lost Duck is a really nice one. The real challenge for Chef, and I will do a challenge run with one of these weapons after the series is over, is if you roll into an elemental weapon, because of course you don't get the extra burning damage from non-elemental weapons again when you have an elemental weapon. So if we rolled into something like Torch or Wand, then this would be an extremely dangerous run. not going to be able to kill that tree at the top left there. I'm just not fast enough to get there. I will take 10 luck here. Increasing our luck is really important, and attack speed is excellent as well. I also do want to boost my max HP, but more important that I get our core stats online. Lighthouse is kind of interesting. If you get Lighthouse really early and then roll into Pocket Factory, that can be a pretty good way to clear enemies, because that's a lot of engineering. I think we're going to pass on it because it's very speculative. We have no use for it now, but it is an interesting option. Ice Cube is excellent. Cute Monkey, sure, we'll take it. It's good healing as well. We don't really need healing that much, but any healing that we get is still pretty useful. So right now I just need max HP, mostly, to make sure our chopper damage continues to scale. And other than that, we're in quite good shape, I would say. We found a bunch of luck, which is awesome. And we've got some pickup radius and everything, so we can kill enemies a little more easily there. I actually picked up that consumable at exactly the wrong time. See if we can go get this first alien kill. I picked it up at exactly the wrong time to set all those enemies on fire, so we lost out on a lot of very rapid kills. But because I've found a bunch of harvesting, and because we're killing enemies really fast, we're making very good money these waves. I will take the goblet. It's good healing, even though it costs us some regen, and we'll take 8 harvesting. It's very early still. Gonna go ahead and upgrade my chopper. Ice Cube will help us kill enemies even faster. And then I'll take a Clockwork Wasp over the Cute Monkey here, because move speed is really good for this character as well. Taking a Corrupted Shard also. I could take Boxing Glove. Knockback does give us a little more time to make sure we're mostly attacking burning enemies, but I just don't think it's worth buying. So expensive for a fairly marginal effect. So really hoping we find some max HP. I'll take any HP we find from a level up screen, I will take. And of course, we're looking for stuff like Broken Mouth or a Warrior Helmet, that kind of item. We have very high luck, so we're fairly likely to find higher level items in the shop as well. So we can find things like Warrior Helmet, Stone Skin, Fairy, things like that that will just make the run a lot easier. I'll take a Small Fish. This will... Actually, I'm going to recycle Small Fish, because in order to hit enemies at all, for meaningful damage at all, we have to have hit them a couple times to set them on fire anyways, and once they're on fire, we're going to kill them in one swing, usually regardless. So Small Fish, I think, just conflicts with what we're trying to do. Amazing find with the 9 max HP here, and then I'm going to reroll this. I could start building dodge. I think when you find a level 3 dodge upgrade like this early, it can really incentivize you into starting to build dodge that run. Dodge gets better the more dodge you have, so finding an efficient source of it early is one of the reasons that you might start building dodge. We'll take a propeller hat and a Cute Monkey. Lock the leather vest, even at the cost of max HP, still really nice to get those stats, especially since I've sort of committed to building some dodge this run. So I'd say we're in very good shape. Chopper, I think, is like the 3rd best weapon for Chef after Spoon, which is the best, and Wrench, because Wrench provides the burning damage, provides the burning effect for the level 2 wrenches, and doesn't really care about anything else that any of the Chef's other penalties. So I like engineering builds on Chef a lot as well. If we can get this the slasher to get set on fire. How many 25% chances to light it on fire did we just miss in a row there? Scared Sausage really not pulling its weight in that spot. All right, we got the burning effect there. Didn't get that tree, but that's okay. We got a crate, and that crate had a Broken Mouth in it, which is what we are really hoping for. And now, again, I've started building dodge, so we can build more dodge, and we can end up with a lot of dodge really early. I'll take a Scar. I will take this baby elephant because we get a free reroll out of it. It's not that good because it's often going to do damage to enemies that aren't burning, so it's basically doing half the normal damage that it would most of the time. But we already have 60 luck, so it's still a decent amount of additional damage. And if we get something like a pocket factory to spread fire around the map, then that can still be very powerful. We'll take a cyber ball. I will take feather. 37 for 3 dodge when we're already at 24 is pretty efficient. We'll take a treasure map. Wheelbarrow I'll grab as well because it's still pretty early in the run, and sunglasses we will take also. Chopper has high base critical chance, which doesn't make buying crit chance better in and of itself. It's still the same increase to your damage output, but makes it much easier for us to rely on items like Tentacle or Hunting Trophy if we happen to roll into those. So weapons with high base crit chance you often are more incentivized to build crit items on anyways. Have to be pretty careful this wave. My defensive stats are only good, or my healing is only good when I'm picking up consumables. Otherwise it's fairly poor. So I need to make sure that I'm getting those. Try not to take infinite damage here as I walk into every attack from all of those enemies. Definitely need better defensive stats right now because when enemies are not burning, they're very hard to kill, and that makes it super difficult for us to avoid taking damage. I did get a good consumable drop there, so we killed some enemies, but wave 8 was always going to be a challenge for us. We'll take the treasure map, we'll take the wheelbarrow, and I'm going to do one reroll here. I'll take jelly. It's not efficient to buy 1 HP for 35, but we're a chopper build, so all the HP that we get is incredibly valuable. I did just reduce my armor by 2 down to 1, so I need to find ways to fix that. I'm not picking up the consumables yet because these low health enemies we don't need to be on fire in order to kill them. So I'm going to wait to pick up most of these consumables until the big chargers start spawning a little later in the wave, and then we can use those to get guaranteed fire on the enemies that we really need the bonus damage against. Ooh, double crate drop there. That's one of the nice advantages of playing this character that has high luck and is more likely to find luck-based items as well. You're going to get a lot more crates. I will take the piggy bank. It showed up in a box, so we're going to grab that. We're going to recycle scope, and I have very little attack speed, but do I want max HP more? I think I do want the max HP more. In a reroll here, I do want 1 armor, but with such high luck, we can definitely get higher level upgrades, and I'm going to take the level 3 crit chance over the dodge here. Our weapons are at 0.82, so we could buy ball and chain here. We're probably not going to get them too much faster than that, especially because cleaver increases in range as you level it up, so it actually kind of loses attack speed a little bit. I think I am going to buy ball and chain. Then we don't have to worry too much about buying more attack speed, and obviously the stats from this item are excellent. Roll here, we'll take a bag and we will take a shady potion. I will also take padding because any HP we can buy is really good. Baby squid is great. We'll take a beanie, and constructs and any structures we can get on the field are excellent because not only do they help spread the fire, they also are non-elemental sources of damage themselves. So a laser turret is going to help kill enemies much faster. Another scared sausage really would be one of the best things we could find here. Just to make setting enemies on fire much more consistent without the consumable drops. That's what you really want for this character. To just not be reliant on luck to drop consumables. The extra healing from being a chopper build, though, is really coming in handy. Because it means that I can very easily just charge into these groups of enemies and not die, which is awesome. Another leather vest, again, cost me HP, but the stats are amazing. We'll take a goblet as well. Unfortunately, cost me regen, which I do really badly need. I've actually reduced my regeneration a ton, because I bought Shady Potion and a couple other regen-reducing items. Fried rice is really good, though. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of enemies burning, hopefully, on this character, so the fried rice will be great. And then 9 more dodge gets us to 40% dodge, so we're already getting to dodge cap very fast. I'm going to take the attack speed. Although we are close to our cap, we're not at it yet, so the attack speed is still useful up to that point. And then we'll take a baby squid, take a padding, take a laser turret, we'll roll. Incendiary turret, this will set enemies on fire for us. It doesn't itself benefit from the chef's passive, even though it's not elemental damage. It doesn't triple its own damage, but the burning from the incendiary turret does count as burning for fried rice and for the chef passive, so it will increase all of our damage from everything other than the incendiary turret itself. Alright, here's the elite. I think we can kill the elite. We should have decent damage output against it. And my healing is very solid, so we should be able to take it out, hopefully. I really don't like that we're much more reliant on dodge than on armor. Usually I much prefer armor to dodge because dodge, of course, is a percentage. And I don't like relying on luck even when it's somewhat reliable luck. Bat alien getting a little too far away for my taste, so I'm going to back off from it for a minute here. Wow, okay, I took a big hit there. This is the challenge of having really low armor, is you have to play really carefully. So I probably will not be able to kill the elite here because I messed up my movement a little this wave. So unfortunate, but sometimes that'll happen. Most important thing is that we didn't die, and we missed a lot of dodges in a row and still didn't die, so that's still okay. I'm going to recycle the white flag here, obviously. Snake I will definitely take, though. Power generator, we currently only have 5% speed, but this will be worth a lot, and then we're going to take acid as well. I'll take 7 crit chance, and celery tea, going into wave 12, I don't think we want. We also don't want to lose HP to the bone dice, so I will pass on both of those items. Spyglass, I don't want. Decomposing flesh, I don't really want, because we need all the attack speed we can get. We don't care that much about lifesteal. Weird Ghost, I have so little regeneration. We would be fully relying on consumables to drop, but I think that's okay. So I will take a Weird Ghost. I'm gonna roll here. Explosion size is really nice for this character because it means more enemies set on fire from the chef passive. Then I'm gonna do another reroll, and we didn't find anything else. So I've got lifesteal, I've got a goblet, and if we ever drop a consumable, which we have high luck to do, then we can heal back up. So the Weird Ghost was pretty safe. Kind of annoyed that I messed up the fight so bad last wave, because we should have had a level 4 item for sure. I just managed to move really poorly there. Had a couple runs recently where my movement was not really on point, so I need to tighten that up, I think. I've been quite busy lately, so I've been playing it like off times of day and stuff, which does throw you off for this kind of thing. Here, I'm going to take some move speed, which also gives us some percent damage. Cauldron, I keep lowering my regen, but I do still want the Cauldron. We'll take Garden, we'll combine our choppers and buy another one. I have enough attack speed that we're at cap on all our weapons, so we're fine there. We'll take a Blindfold for sure. But do I want Propeller Hat first? I guess I do. And Claw Tree costs HP, so we're not going to buy that. 3 base damage on all our choppers. Mastery's an efficient enough item that I think it's worth buying. We'll upgrade a chopper. And I can I could take the snail if we didn't have power generator, but I think power generator, it costing us 3% damage and 3 move speed, really puts it over the top to not being valuable anymore. You see how good the explosion size on this character is, though, because we're now lighting the whole map on fire every time I pick up a fruit. There's a joke there, but children watch these videos. Run over there and get our full heal off that one. So I just need regen at this point, basically. Regen and armor. And I would say we'll be in pretty solid shape. Another incendiary turret, awesome. Just setting enemies on fire helps so much. Saltwater, we're very happy with. The bonus movement speed will be very valuable. We'll take a corrupted shard, of course, as well. 2 armor, exactly what we needed. Glass cannon, I am actually not certain about, so I'm buying these other items. We get a free reroll off it. 3 armor loss is a ton, but my percent damage is very poor. I think this will help us enough at killing the elite that I will take it. Glass cannon, so we also, because we have ball and chain, are normally going to struggle to kill elites, because attack speed is what typically determines how well you kill elites or not. So the glass cannon could help out with that. We'll take another chopper here. Black belt, do I want that? What's our XP gain at? 17%? I think we'll pass on that. Losing luck is so bad for this character, but Barnacle and Banner are both pretty good. Actually, we're at attack speed cap already, so we don't need the Banner. I would love another scared sausage, of course. One item that you should avoid, like the plague on this character, is Frozen Heart, because Frozen Heart turns all of your weapon damage into elemental damage, because it makes it scale with elemental damage. So you suddenly lose all of the multiplier that you've been trying to build up. So you should never buy Frozen Heart on the chef. The fried rice is really helping keep us alive as well. We managed to get a ton of healing from that, so that's really awesome. Would love to have a hunting trophy or something. Hunting trophy would be so good for us. We'd be getting so much money because our crit chance is very high. We're going to take propeller hat here, and then I need armor more than regen. I need both, but armor's more important. I will take the barnacle. I'll take the wheat, because the melee damage is useful. No, I think we're going to pass on wheat, actually. So we're going to just buy a chopper. Wheat is really expensive at this point, and 2 melee damage on a 50% scaling weapon is just not worth that much money. Nail, on the other hand, how's our engineering? It's at 0. So basically, I'd be buying 1 damage on all of my weapons here, and then a little bit of bonuses on, because we have a couple constructs. If I'd bought the lighthouse earlier, the nail would be pretty nice. So 1 damage, I think we're passing on nail as well. We're not strong enough really on this character to buy kind of nonsense items, so I do need to focus on just making sure that we continue to scale in power level. We'll take a chopper here. Rip and tear, I'm definitely taking. Riposte we'll take because we have okay melee damage and we have very high dodge, so the riposte actually does help. Duct tape costs me max HP, which I do need to build more of, but armor is the most important stat for us, so we're going to focus on getting some as soon as we can. Another elite that charges past us, these are of course going to be harder to fight than most other elites, because just maintaining the fire on them is difficult. I'm trying to keep it over here with my incendiary turrets, but when it is near the incendiary turrets, it's harder to keep damage on it because we're against the edge of the map, which makes dodging more difficult and makes staying next to it more difficult. So I think we're again not going to kill the elite, and I'm actually going to back off of trying to fight it here. You really have to decide early that you're not going to kill the elite, and I should have decided it a little sooner, in fact. Or you can end up in a situation like we did in the previous Elite Wave, where I put myself very close to death because I was trying to fight an Elite that I just shouldn't have been fighting. We did have the damage for that one, but it was just too close, and you don't need to kill elites in this game. There's no requirement to do that. The bonuses are nice, and sometimes it is safer to kill the elite, but that's the level 4 items are nice, and sometimes it's safer. But if you're gonna die if you try to kill it, just don't. Just stay alive and go on to the next wave. We're at 60 dodge, which is awesome. Getting to dodge cap makes us much harder to kill. And then we'll take some more armor, we'll take Rip and Tear and Riposte, and we'll roll here. A Tentacle, that's a lot of healing, so I'm very happy with that. And we'll take a Corrupted Shard as well. Sharp Bullet, if I had, Pocket Factory, I would probably take it, just so it could set more enemies on fire for us. But we don't. And Gambling Token we don't need, because we're at dodge cap already. Often when you buy Ball and Chain, also, you're just giving up on killing Elite, but it gives you so many stats that it helps you get through it regardless. Get these loot alien kills. Once they are on fire, they're really easy to take out. And now we're tanky enough that we can run directly at most of these groups of enemies. 60 dodge is a lot of damage mitigation, so it helps keep us alive a lot more easily. This is not a normal build for me. Usually I would have much more armor and much less dodge. This is just how the shops have gone. And of course, usually we'd have a lot more regeneration, which is a word I for some reason couldn't say. I'm gonna drink some water and buy this warrior helmet. Then we'll take Garden and Propeller Hat, two excellent finds as well. I'm gonna reroll this. Feel like we can do better. 8 melee damage, so the base damage of our weapons is still pretty low, but if I find a high-level HP upgrade, that'll be better, although I will just take 16% move speed. We have reduced our move speed a fair bit. We have Power Generator, so it's really nice to increase it. Baby Gecko, I have 2 cute monkeys, so this is actually a lot of healing, and we have a baby elephant as well. We'll take Lost Duck, and we'll reroll. Mouse, I definitely want. Landmines, another way to spread fire across the map, so we're going to pick that up. We will then take another Chopper. I could actually have bought Spyglass. Spyglass, when you buy it really late, is actually more interesting, I think, than buying it early. Because all of the discount from Spyglass happens in the last 3 waves anyways. So buying it on exactly wave 16, I think, is actually the right way to buy this item, and maybe I even should have. Another charging elite. So we're really getting bad rolls on elite. If we got ones that stayed near us, we'd have been able to kill more of them. Probably both of the ones that we had to pass on so far. I think we can still get this one, but it's going to be fairly close. But at this point, my damage is high enough, or my defensive stats are high enough that we're just checking our damage against it, because I'm not in particular danger of dying to it. But these elites that charge past you are, of course, much more difficult for melee characters to fight because you aren't focusing damage on them all the time. But we did get it. And now we're strong enough that we can just run straight at all the enemies. I'm going to recycle White Flag, of course. We'll take a tree. Giant Belt. So this is a great find. We have high crit chance, and it's even better because our weapon has really high base crit chance. So we're going to crit 50% of the time. This will help us kill the bosses so much faster. So that's a really great find. We'll take 8 HP, take a warrior helmet, take a missile. Recycling machine, it's a little late for, but ritual I'll buy. More percent damage is good here. Black Flag and Baby Squid are both too late, unfortunately, so we're going to reroll past both of those and go to wave 18. Particle Accelerator, another way that you can set enemies on fire normally. It feels weird to not have passive regen on this character. Obviously, we've got Fried Rice, which is giving us like 25 regeneration all the time, so we're a lot better at healing than we look on paper, but normally at this point in a run, I would have like 50 regeneration. We've just reduced it a lot and haven't been offered too much. One, Bad Tomato or Fairy or anything like that would go a long way towards solving this character's problems. There was a loot alien in the middle of all of those enemies, which we managed to kill, which is nice. It was trying to hide, but we got it anyways. Scope, we're going to recycle. Coupon will still pay off, of course. I'll take 10 melee damage. It's a level 4 upgrade, and that's a big boost to our damage. We also have a riposte as well, which can deal a little more damage. Incendiary turret, an amazing find. Weird food, great. We'll still take increased consumable healing anyways, despite being a chopper build. Cyclops worm we're taking. Cursed mastery, definitely. And then let me get a level 4 chopper and that level 2, and we'll lock a level 1 here. Rip and Tear does synergize pretty nicely with our increased explosion size because we have plastic explosive, and that's what Rip and Tear actually typically needs the most. Now, it's not going to chain as much for this character because I need to watch my HP here. Because enemies have double base health. So unless they're on fire, the Rip and Tear won't chain through and do damage to all of them. But it isn't elemental damage, so if enemies are burning, which we have a lot of incendiary turrets, a lot of enemies are burning, the Rip and Tear damage can chain through and burst multiple enemies at a time. Step on that consumable, and then that one as well. And we made 800 materials this wave. We'll take a beanie for extra damage. We'll take 12 HP. That's perfect. Cursed Cyclops worm, great. Upgrade that. I'll take the blindfold. I've reduced my dodge by 2, so that gets us a dodge cap and gives us more crit chance. And crit chance is going to be really good, given that we are going to use Giant's Belt to kill enemies. Also, a cursed level 4 chopper is an amazing find. Scales with 55% of our max HP. That's awesome. I'm tempted by this energy bracelet. I think 4% crit when we have Giant's Belt is probably better than almost anything else at killing the bosses. So I think I will take that, and then we'll reroll here. And we can't afford this chopper, so we'll reroll just for fun, and then we'll go fight the bosses here. So this is a bit of a weird build. We got there in the end in terms of having 12 armor and 60 dodge, so we're solid defensively, though with only 4 regen, still not great. But sometimes the shops work out in a weird way, and you just have to adapt the build to the circumstance that you actually are in. There's a lot of... a very common question is, like, what should your build look like at endgame? And while there are kind of stat benchmarks that you can shoot for, the answer is, infuriatingly, as always, it depends. It just depends on what shows up in the shop, so you have to adapt to the circumstance that you find yourself in. Alright, so we only ever found one scared sausage, unless I rolled past one, always a possibility, which did hamper the build significantly. So we had a bit of a mid-game slump because of that, and because of some poor movement and stuff, and because I had low healing, but mostly this was just a very clean run with a powerful weapon for the character. Chef, of course, is a challenging character with some weapons and a little easier with others. This is one that's on the easier side, but still another pretty tough character out of the way, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's take a look at the rest of our items. Almost 600 healing from the goblets, so those were excellent. Ice Cube, of course, increased our damage a lot. 300 healing from Cute Monkeys. The Baby Elephant and Cyberball, they dealt 50, like 40k each, but you kind of have to have that because a lot of it was dealt to enemies that weren't on fire, so they had double health. So it's kind of like they dealt 20k each, but that's not bad for those 2 items. 5 items from Treasure Map, obviously amazing. Only 31 materials from Piggy Bank. I probably could have held some money in some spots to make the Piggy Bank better, but it was still, I guess, worth picking up. But bags, of course, gave 465. 9 regen from the baby squid, but we had reduced our regen so much that this was mostly just offsetting the penalties so that the fried rice could do better. All of these turrets were amazing. They dealt 30k damage on the laser turret and 45k on the incendiary turrets, so really awesome there. Barnacle gave us 5 levels worth of stats, so it was great. Rip and Tear actually did 65k damage, so yeah, the Rip and Tear was pretty good. The Riposte was pretty bad. I was expecting bigger things from this because we had high dodge, but at this point we weren't taking too many hits anyways. And the Giant Belt helped us kill the bosses wildly faster by doing 50k damage, almost exclusively to the bosses there. Alright, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run with the chef, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.